This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us. If you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below, you'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG. That's what the thing says.
If the internet gods have blessed us once again, it is time for Johnny and the Greg. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, listening, and whenever you decide to give us your time, we appreciate it. If you could do us a favor real quick, hit like, subscribe, share it, tell your friends, tell your mom, everybody, it doesn't matter. Just say, hey, there's some fun Midwestern guys that talk every Sunday. Give them a listen every once in a while. Maybe, just maybe, they have a cool subject. Like I think today. I'm excited about today, actually.
Yeah.
Going to give us stuff, Greg. It's going to give us stuff to talk about.
You know, I'm prepping for, trying to pull up our Facebook page and stuff like that. Evidently, 7 years ago, you and I were at C2E2.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it was a 7 years ago thing. Check out these pictures. Like,
who's the guy in the middle?
I don't know. Like, it's weird how much that doesn't even really look like me anymore.
Oh, I still look like that.
You look the same. I mean, this has gotten more gray, but
yeah, of course, yeah.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pre-facial hair for me and pre not eating like an idiot. So
I'm shocked. I don't know why you never went Uncle Fester on us.
I don't know. I'm just looking at this. I mean, and I'm pulling my chin back.
I know you're pulling back.
Shock look, but that's like full on King Kong Bundy face.
Yeah, you should be proud of yourself.
This cosplayer was always so good. She's amazing.
It's a girl?
It's a girl in there. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was a girl in there. She's on stilts and stuff, right?
Yeah,
because she does the wolf legs. Yeah,
very cool.
Wow.
So anyway, and literally that popped up as
7 years ago, huh?
7 years ago, yep. And then it was probably a year or two, because I've been not teaching for. This is my 7th year not teaching, so I would say.
Already?
I would say, yeah, I know. It seems to went fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess it was 8 years ago, because it was like I went through that little crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got a desk job, it became easier to control my diet, pound more water. I mean, it was weird how because I wasn't walking as much. So I'm like, oh, I need to make some changes, because I know I'm not going to walk as much.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah.
But that's when I was
glad you did. Yeah. I'm sure you feel a lot better.
I know that's not on the docket to talk about.
No, but it's okay. I mean, that's something to be.
But it's my show too, John. I get to talk about what I want to talk about.
You can be proud of. You can be proud about it for sure. Yeah. Okay. On the agenda today, we have just basically two things. Today, it is March Madness, so everybody has a bracket. And Johnny and the Greg are no different, but our bracket's a little different because it's not a sports bracket. It will be, and I lost my place, it will be the TV theme songs brackets. Okay. We'll go into that. But first, some news came down this week, courtesy of Pat McAfee and a certain guy that we've come to know as Aaron Rodgers, or AA Rod.
Hey, Aaron.
And since I'm a Bear fan, you're a Packer fan, we meet in the middle. It's a border war, and I think it has a lot to do because we always, whether we like them or hate them, we always seem to talk about them. I wanted to know how you felt now that it's probably most likely. I mean,
It's
officially, he is not a Jet yet because the Packers
Right.
are doing their, in my opinion, due diligence on getting a good compensation package to send him off.
From what I heard,
Yeah.
and this is literally what I read 2 hours ago.
Mhm.
But like part of the reason this isn't a done deal yet is because the Packers are like trying to bleed the Jets for every
Yeah.
bit out of this deal. I'm like,
Mhm.
well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely they should.
Yes, that's exactly what they should do. So I don't blame the Packers at all. I am sick of hearing how none of this is Aaron's fault. He's very, very good at looking like the bad guy, looking like he's the victim in a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
he's really
putting some spin on a lot
really
of
good
this.
at it. Yeah. And here's how I'll just leave my thoughts to it. Can you imagine? This is a guy, okay, who became a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. He is a 4-time regular season MVP.
Mhm.
He is probably one of the best regular season quarterbacks I have ever witnessed, because I believe there's a difference between regular season and playoffs. There just is.
Absolutely.
I believe he's one of the best I've ever seen in the regular season. And imagine being in a sport where that position, you are either good or not good if you don't have that position. Just look up Chicago Bears. He is that good of a player, Hall of Famer. And he is such an ass and a jag to work with that they'd rather get rid of him.
Yeah.
Think about that. I want everybody who's listening to me, not necessarily Greg, but think about that. Let that sink in. This guy is so much of a headache, so much of a drama queen that you are giving up what's probably will be at least 8 to 11 wins a season because you don't want to deal with his shit anymore.
Yeah. It's telling.
Yeah.
When, I mean, and again, he's not gone yet, but he's going on talk shows like he is.
Yeah.
And even on the Pat McAfee show, where he's like, oh, definitely, I'm arguably one of the best Packers ever. Like,
yeah, didn't he say that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
and he's like arguably I'm the best Packer ever. He's like, and you know, that's it, you can talk about it, you can debate about it, but I'm definitely in the argument. Like he's saying if whoever is doing the poll, like I'm in there. I'm in that conversation. I'm one of the top in the conversation, man. And I'm like,
yeah. He's not wrong. I mean,
and that's
he's in the conversation.
Sure. And I'm not denying that.
Right. I know what you mean, though.
He even brought up, he's like, you can't deny that I've been a Packer longer than anybody else who's ever played. Like his years with the Packers. He's like, he from joining the team to leaving the team, he has the most years ever as someone who's a Green Bay Packer.
Sounds like somebody Googled himself.
And I mean, it sounds like he's just name dropping himself on these shows as he's exiting. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it seems more arrogant because I'm just in that headspace, or if he would have done this, years ago and just was this arrogant if you were just like, what?
I think it's a combination of both. What I mean by that is here's what I think is interesting, okay? When he sits there and he talks about trying to make it a family thing, this is a man who doesn't get along with his family, famously.
Yeah. Yeah. I I don't know. I read that too. I mean, someone was
I'm just
put that
saying,
out
like,
there.
I can't wait till he leaves, and I can't wait to start hearing more stuff. The shit that
The
kept behind closed doors, and
There's that, and the other sports people are like, "Hey, Aaron, we Green Bay's a great town. We love Green Bay. We know." And he still says, like, "I love Green Bay. I wouldn't be in this position without Green Bay, without the town, without its people, without these fans." He's like, I still am." He's like, "I've got a partial ownership of the Bucks." He's like, "I'm not leaving Wisconsin." He's like, "I still have a lot to do with this state." I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
that's great." But even the people that like him are like, "Hey, Aaron, the New York press corps, they're not nice. Like
oh no, yeah.
they're gonna tear you apart, man."
You
Like,
think you
and
have a hard time now?
yeah, we know he doesn't take criticism well.
No, he does not.
And like that press rooms, they're like, "It's gonna be a different show, buddy."
Yeah, it will be,
And
absolutely.
and then I don't know if he's ready for that or if he thinks he is, or
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I do think
I
he's going to do well. As far as Matt Sampson, who wrote, "As a Bear fan myself, I will be rooting for Ron as a Jet." Matt, shame on you. That's the wrong way to go. We should hope that this guy just gets hammered every single play, unless you've secretly always liked Aaron. Then I can see you rooting for him if he went to some other team. Me, I hope this dude sucks. That's just me, because I can't stand this dude. And there was a time I
Yeah,
actually liked him. There was a time I actually liked him.
sure.
But then I started really, I don't know, I started going, you know what? He's one of these guys where you think he'd be very interesting to go have dinner with and just talk life. And I think halfway through, or maybe a beer and a half through, you'd go, uh-oh, this guy's a dick.
Yeah, I regret this decision.
Yeah, this guy's a jag. Thank you. Thank you, Marshall. I agree.
I was curious. I'm like, okay, when was the last like hated Packer quarterback? I mean, and I'm not
Favre.
even, well, kind of. I mean,
Oh, when
Favre.
he left, you guys wanted to
Oh yeah,
crucify him.
I know. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I'm
Yeah.
not, but I was like, so. I mean, because we haven't had that many quarterbacks in the past 40 years because they stick around.
Correct.
So I went back and I looked up Don Mikowski because he was the, like, before Favre. I'm like, and it hit me. I'm like, there must be another quarterback in there that I'm just forgetting. And it's not. It goes Don Mikowski in 89. And then like Brett Favre, like Don Mikowski came on in 80. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Like that's for the
pretty much.
So then I looked up Don Mikowski, and everybody joked about how shitty he was. And I'm like, he wasn't terrible. I mean, he wasn't the level of quarterback that we are now used to.
Right.
But he was plagued with injuries like for like 2 or 3 seasons.
I don't know. I know that was
it was. I mean,
time.
and this was again, I know who he was.
Right.
In Packers football, but I wasn't paying enough attention to Packers football to really, I wasn't paying enough attention to football at all.
Right.
To really know all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then all I heard about later is like, oh yeah, Mikowski, like we bet on the wrong horse. He was terrible. And so I went back and I read up on it. I'm like, torn this, just bad shoulder after a sack. I mean, I was like, okay. Well, he was hurt for most of the time he was with us. And I'm like, well, because I also wanted to know, like, what did he end up doing? Like, where is he now, kind of thing. Wasn't a lot of information on, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of information on that. He started a real estate firm at one point down south. And then he sold that, and I don't know what happened after he sold it. Yeah, he sold it like early 2000s or something. Yeah. So I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
But, I don't know. I heard another guy talk about, because everybody's excited now to see what Jordan Love's going to do. But everybody's like, Jordan Love is the guy that he's the only first negative thing I heard is like, Jordan Love's not great. Like, he's not a good quarterback, or else,
who knows? I don't know what to expect this year. I do know that there seems to be a mass exodus. I shouldn't say mass, but there's a lot of people you're losing. I know one of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know one went to the Bears. I'm very happy about that. I think that should be fun.
Pass rusher?
No. No, the
he went.
Tunyon's
Yeah,
a bear now.
Tunyon was good. You're gonna,
Yeah.
and best of luck to him. Again, this is
Well,
where
he's
the
a
business.
Chicago kid. He
Yeah,
just got drafted by the Packers. What are you gonna do?
the this is where the business of football, like, I guess I don't end up paying a whole lot of attention to it. Like, I don't watch the draft really. I mean, because I can catch up on that later. Like, I'm not on the edge of my seat. Like, who's going to take who? There's no alerts popping up on my phone. Um, I'm gonna live because there's so much business stuff. This $1 billion business that we call the NFL
Mhm.
is now in full effect. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, man, let me when we get to a roster, when we get to these are the guys that are playing for us in the regular season, that's when I'll
Pay
start
attention.
looking. That's when
Yeah,
I'll
I
start.
think I'll be honest. I think that's a healthier way to go. Me,
Yeah.
not healthy. I am in my Twitter account daily trying to see who's going where, who's going, who the Bears might get.
Yep.
What does that mean for the draft? I am so locked in this year. It is unhealthy. And I need to step away. But God bless the
Podcast
patience
Angel.
of my wife. Yeah. God bless the patience of my wife. Anyway, I think that's I wanted to do something where I heard of there was a Green Bay Packer beat reporter, where he was asking how he felt about Aaron. And my point that I started out with, where can you imagine being this talented of a man and people are so sick of your shit that they'd rather live without you than live with you and be successful,
Yeah.
And I found out one of the reasons was he has a tendency to make life way harder than it needs to. For an example, did you know, and you probably don't, but the people out there that are listening, that Aaron Rodgers has what's called a shadow offense? And what I mean by shadow offense is, have you ever heard of secret menus at different places?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Aaron Rodgers has within the offense. He has designed a shadow offense or a secret offense.
Yeah.
Now, one of the problems was, and one of the biggest reasons where you would see Aaron throw a ball and a wide receiver not even be there, is because these new guys didn't know the shadow offense, and he expected Randall Cobb to teach it.
Oh,
right? So imagine being a rookie quarterback and you're taking on, this is your playbook in college, most likely, this thick,
yeah.
And in the NFL, it's this thick.
Yeah.
So you have to get into that, figure that out. And then once you figure that out, if you figure that out, now there's these little nuances that Aaron wants to add in there, like the touching of the shoulder and things like that. And I guess he does 30 different hand signals.
Just different cues. Wow.
Yeah. Right. So it's like you're making this, like, I guess it's because there are moments where I guess if you looked at the tape, and people were looking at the tape this year, where people were open for a 10-yard gain and he threw it somewhere else, And so it's just something else to, I guess, to add on to, Jesus, dude, why you make life hard? Like, why do that?
Because he knows better than everybody.
Right. That's true. I forgot about that. He is also the current quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, the general manager of the New York Jets, and the owner of the Bears.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Good job, Mr. Rodgers. Good job. All right. Moving on. We're in the throes of March Madness. Do you actually like March Madness? Are you a fan of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, upsets, last minute shots?
This is kind of the first year in like 10 years that I don't care about it.
Okay.
Usually I don't pay a whole lot of attention to college basketball during the regular season. I mean, I try to keep up with the teams that I want to keep up with and things like that.
Right.
And then when March Madness is, I don't always do a bracket, and I never pay for doing a bracket because I'm not that big of a gambler that I'm going to put money down on it.
Okay.
But it's fun. And because I'm always rooting for an underdog.
Yeah.
I love watching the upsets, and those, and
we've had some this year, some big ones this year.
For the last couple of years, it was something that I would, when I was working from home, I'd
Yeah.
either have it up on another screen or I'd be working in my front room,
Yes.
in my living room, so that I could just kind of have it on and be like, mm. But
Yeah.
this year, I can't this year. I just wasn't able, and I don't know if it's the job I have this year because I had a different job this time last year, but I just didn't have the pull towards it either. So usually I am into it,
Yeah.
and then this year I'm just not.
Okay. Fair enough. I wasn't into it until it begun on Thursday. And then I
and,
was
and then you
watching.
just hit the bug, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh, cool. And then now like I'm like you, I have it on, but I'm not locked in. Unless there's 2 minutes left and it's a close game and an upset's about to happen, then I'll dial in. But uh we excuse me, I think this is the first upset or the first time in 40, excuse me, Jesus, through 40 years where the number 16 seed beat a 1 seed. That was pretty cool.
Really?
Yes, that was pretty cool. You got Princeton beating who was a 15 versus a 2. Princeton won out. That was awesome. You've had some really good upsets. So it's been fun. But the reason I bring that up is because we have our own bracket to go over. So for those of you that are following at home, or listening in your cars or wherever the heck you are right now, we are going to be going over the Johnny and the Greg TV theme song brackets. Now, this is a bracket or a picture that I actually stole from someplace. I don't know where I stole it, but we have it up. Can we actually put this up, or would that be a bad idea, you think?
I have a graphic somewhere because I needed to print it, so I could put it up.
All right, put it up for me.
If you don't
mind.
Give me a second.
So what we're doing is TV theme song brackets, and I'll give you the 4 regions. We have the classics, the 1980s, the 1990s, 2000s, and today. You got it up?
Boom.
There we go. All right, boom. There it is, folks. So if you're watching live at home, this is the bracket. If you need to, I don't know, bring it up more, that's on you. Oh, Greg, thank you, Greg. All right.
There we go.
So let's start in the classics, Greg. The Mary Tyler Moore Show theme song versus
theme
the
songs.
Addams.
We're dealing with theme songs now.
Theme songs.
Just so we get a little bit more of, like I had to go into it. And John, when you texted this to me, I'm like, well, are we talking about like what's the criteria? Is it just like what is more music to my ears, or what's going on there? So when I did this, I took it for one, just yes, there's a little bit of catchiness to it. Like, is it something that sticks in your brain? The other thing is like, what is the cultural impact that it still has?
Yes.
And
so lastly, did it bring back any good memories for you?
That was the other thing, like how to make me feel when I do that. So I did my bracket, and then I actually came up with a list of some honorable mentions that I think should have made the tournament this year and didn't.
I have one for sure, but yeah, I'll be interested
about those
to
after we get through. All right,
here we go. What do you got for the classics?
Mary Tyler Moore's Show versus the Addams Family. I went straight up upset for the Addams Family.
I agree wholeheartedly.
The Mary Tyler Moore, I don't even know what it is.
I looked it up to see how did that get the 1 seed. I looked it up, and it is not. It doesn't move me. It's for those of you that don't know, and please excuse me, it's the one. I'm sure it'll pop in your head. You're gonna make it on your own, and that's it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And that's
walking around.
I realized well, at that time when this show was on the air, that was a big deal. It was women,
because of the women independence.
It was like a women independence, women empowerment song. So I get it. I get how big that was. But here we are, in 2020. I had to struggle just to try to remember what it was, which to me then means you don't have the staying power for it.
Okay. So I agree with you. I agree.
Meanwhile, you walk down the street and you go, da 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 da. Someone's going to go.
Yes. My daughter, who's 4, knows that.
Yep. That's a thing. I think that's a very big thing when you come to this type of decision, which is not.
In fact, I remember being a kid. I remember being a kid, staying home from school, and watching the Addams Family while I was sick.
Sure. Yeah.
And part of it, I love the theme song. Who didn't when you were a kid?
And it's still a beloved theme song. I mean,
Yes.
and I don't think it's like a resurfacing, like, oh, well, the Wednesday show came out and that brought it back. No, it was always around.
I agree. Yes. So the Addams Family, I think, moves on in a huge upset, which, yeah. So Addams Family moves on. Now we got the number 4 versus 5 seed, which is the Flintstones and the Andy Griffith Show.
We might disagree on this one.
Okay. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. And then you have the Andy Griffith Show.
But it's a whistle, and I can't whistle that well.
Yeah.
But
you can't? That's not your thing?
Not well enough that I'm gonna try it here, but
okay. All right. What are you picking?
I went Andy Griffith.
Really? You did?
I did.
Do you give me a reason why? Is it bring back like show your dad watching it or something? Or
it was a family show for sure.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, we had a lot of memories watching the Andy Griffith Show, but I think the uniqueness of it is what edged it out for me. It's a unique theme song that people will still kind of recall, like, that's the Andy Griffith Show. Boy, you go, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're going to be like, it's a cartoon theme song.
I'll be honest about either one. I don't care. I do happen to know that my favorite or my dad's favorite show was the Andy Griffith Show when he was growing up. That's the show I guess he never missed, and he still watches the reruns. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of vote for my dad. So let's move Andy Griffith ahead of the Flintstones.
Okay.
The next one, number 3 versus number 6. This is my final 4. This is the one I think is going to win the whole thing. The first one is the Adam West Batman versus I Dream of Jeannie. Dun 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 dun. What do you got, Greg?
Well, in this particular matchup, I Dream of Jeannie does have a strong showing, but eventually just can't keep up with the power of the Batman theme.
No, you can't. That song, again, my daughter knows that song.
Yeah.
You have people from different countries that know that. If you were to walk up in a different country, go da-na-na-na-na-na-na, they would know what that is.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I think that's it makes it. Okay, yeah, I won't go much further. It's not in my top, but it wins a couple games.
Yeah. All right, so the last one, the Pink Panther versus Happy Days. I find this so surprising that Pink Panther is number 2.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird seating for that one.
Yeah.
Because the Pink Panther is like from my understanding, it was never really a cartoon. They just did the movies with.
No, there was a cartoon.
I don't remember ever.
I do. I remember I used to love the cartoon. They used to have this aardvark in there too. This blue aardvark that was always trying to catch an ant.
No. Well, I guess I do remember that, but I don't remember. I don't remember the Pink Panther cartoon. But
really,
I mean, yeah, I don't. I remember seeing the movies with what's his name, who did all the faces, character actor. I can't remember his name, but
okay.
Anyway. I chose Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Yep.
Yes, it is Happy Days. It has to be.
Yeah, chose Happy Days.
Okay, so do we just want to go through the entire classics thing?
Let's get to the classics till we get to the final 4, and then we'll jump.
Sounds good. All right, so let's start at a top. Addams Family versus the Andy Griffith Show. I got Addams Family.
I did too. Yep.
Yeah. There's not much more that needs to be said unless you guys listening out there, you want to add in the comments below. Let us know what you're thinking so far. But so far we got the Addams. I think that would be the Sweet 16.
Yeah. And this was for its ability to transcend generations or elite, whatever. For its ability to transcend generations is what takes the Addams Family.
All right. This is a very close game.
Batman
versus
Happy Days.
Yeah.
Still went with Batman.
I agree with you.
I think, and I love the Happy Days theme song, but I don't. In 20 years from now, like my kids don't know what the Happy Days are. Like they just don't know.
Right.
So
okay, Batman. So the big one, Batman versus the Addams Family. So you got it with you got it with Transcendent, but do you really though? Because the Batman, that song is almost it hit that level of stupid, but then it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
I went for the Adams Family, and it
All
sounds
right.
like you went the other way.
I think so. Yeah.
What took me to put Adams Family over Batman is that for a lot of people, myself included, the real theme, when you think of the Batman theme that has been replaced, like this song, the da-na-na-na-na-na-na, has been replaced with the Danny Elfman theme,
Okay.
whereas the Adams Family theme song has never been replaced.
Okay. Um, that's a good point. I don't think it matters though, because what I mean by that is because it's a classic.
Yep.
But so is the Adams Family. So I'm torn. I'm gonna throw it to the audience. I know Marshall's listening. I know
Yep.
Curtis is listening. Let us know. What do you guys got?
Yeah.
You
What do
guys
you?
got the Adams Family versus the Batman theme song of like the Adam West days. So we're talking about classics. So the Adams Family versus Batman. Somebody write in right now a comment to have us find out who won the classics
All right.
bracket.
While we wait for that comment, what are we going to do next year?
We'll go to the 1980s.
1980s. Okay.
Yeah. So this one right off the bat is tough for me.
Cheers versus Thundercats.
Yes, I think so, because Cheers is a very catchy song.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
sometimes you want to go where everybody knows
And
your name.
we got an agreement between Marshall and Kurt, so we're going for the Adams Family.
Okay, Adams Family.
All right. Thanks,
All
boys.
right, Adams Family moves on in an upset. So they stay at number 8 and they go
Yep.
all the way to the final four.
Getting
All
to
right,
the final four.
we're on the 1980s. Thank you, gentlemen. Cheers. By the way, both of you spelled Adams wrong. Shame on you both.
Oh, stop it.
Just shame on you both. And that's me being a little upset because you didn't vote Batman. Anyway. Cheers versus Thundercats. God, Thundercats spoke to me as a kid, man.
It did, but Cheers, I think, is just a better theme song.
You really think so?
I do. Yep. I think.
Can you actually play the theme song for Thundercats right now? Can you do it? Or are we gonna get in trouble for that?
No, we as long as we don't play the whole thing, we can get 30 seconds of that airtime.
Yeah.
Hang
on, let me find it and I'll do it. So go on to the next one.
Okay. Well, did we choose one on that one, or are we just?
No, we haven't. That's why I'm looking up Thundercats.
We got see this one. I didn't even care about this game. It was
Inspector Gadgets and the Facts of Life.
Inspector Gadget and the Facts of Life.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have.
Yeah, and that's why I went for that one, because
oh really?
I went for Facts of Life because I remember the Inspector Gadget song. And as far as a mass appeal goes, it's totally Facts of Life, and a little bit for the same reason that Thundercats lost to Cheers, is because there's no mass appeal to that theme song, to the Thundercats theme song. I mean, especially when it was out. Okay, so we're in agreement on that one. The Facts of Life takes that. Next, we got the Golden Girls versus the A-Team.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna vote right now. It's Golden Girls. It's Thank You for Being a Friend.
It took me a lot. I went for the A-Team.
Of course you did.
But it took me a long time to even remember what the Golden Girls theme.
Are you shitting me?
It did. I'm not a Golden Girls super fan.
But I could imagine your mom being a huge Golden Girls fan.
I don't think we watched a lot. I mean, it was on. I remember seeing some, but it wasn't like must see TV in my house.
Well, I can see that. 3 boys, 1 mom. Yeah.
My dad felt the old ladies were hilarious and would oftentimes tell us that not Blanche. B. Arthur's character. B. Arthur.
I don't know who she was.
She was the tall one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know who her character is.
But her mom, who was the tiny one.
Yes.
The oldest, and Dad would be like, do you know that she's the youngest one out of all them women?
Yep.
No, Dad, but you tell us every time we watch the show. So yes, we do know.
So Every time you say you watch a show, but you just got done saying you didn't watch the show as
I don't remember watching it that much, but I do remember my dad telling us every time it was on that, and maybe
You
it was
see
in
how that's a
syndication. I don't
confusing
know.
statement, right?
I understand, but I don't
Okay.
think we watched a lot of new episodes. Maybe we were just watching it in syndication.
Oh, okay.
But to me, the A-Team is just, classic.
Dun, dun,
But going by
dun,
my own
dun.
rules of mass appeal, I think you're right. I think the Golden Girls would probably win out over that.
Yeah.
So
By the way, guys, I don't like that. I would much prefer the A-Team going there, but I think the Golden Girls win that one.
all right.
Mass
I'm
appeal.
all right. I'm all right.
The Jeffersons versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought the Jeffersons was a classic. I didn't think that was an 80s. But moving on up.
I think it was probably crested 70s and 80s. I mean, I don't know their years exactly, but I still took Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I agree. That spoke to me more. It
staying power. Like,
yeah.
Definitely staying power.
Ninja Turtle. Dude,
right,
I think I still yell Heroes in a Half Shell every now and then.
Sure, why not?
And
I mean,
like
there's
work.
The Teenage Mutant, there's a staying power there. There's another movie coming out which looks amazing, by the way.
The animation one?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you? Amazing.
Yes, it does.
No,
I saw that preview in front of Shazam this weekend, and on the big screen, it looks as good because it's the same animation studio that did Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It looks good. So
okay. It looks good.
No, I that's an emphasis on it. I'm sticking with it looks amazing.
It doesn't look amazing.
Yeah, you're wrong.
No. All right. Hey, unshare yours for a second.
So unshare my. No, you can still just do the share sound.
Can't. No. Share the sound.
All right, here.
It's my show too, Greg. All right, here we go. Share sound. Boom, and share. What do you guys think? Oh, never mind. I can't share. You lucky son of a gun. Go ahead.
No, it's up.
No, I can't. Is it there?
It's there.
Awesome. Yeah. I didn't see it. Here we go. Come on. All right, here it comes, folks. Remember this? Right now, I'm getting chills.
I don't think you shared the sound.
Yeah, it's on. It's just sounds on.
No,
you don't hear it?
Dude, you can hear it. You didn't share the sound with the rest of the group.
I don't know how to work this.
I teach you these things and you don't listen.
Shut up. I'm listening to this.
Yeah. Okay. For your misgivings, I'm pretty sure that Cheers wins.
All right, then you do it, Greg, because I guarantee you that's gonna win out.
It's another one that won. Again, it's not about just personal like.
Then don't give me that.
What do you mean don't give you that?
Well, because then you were talking about A-Team.
Yeah, and I
oh, you're right. You're right. My bad.
So there, take that. You still want me to bring it up?
I do. Come on, Marshall. Be on my side with this. Come on. No sound. I know that was my fault, but come on. You got to hear this Thundercat thing. This is come on. This brings back every memory where you thought, oh my God, if I only had a sword that would grow. Stop it, Greg. Stop.
I understand what you're saying. Here we go. Thundercats opening theme song.
Boom.
Let me get through the advertising first.
Yes, the advertising, of course. Of course. Come on, guys.
Oh, it's just not even sharing the right screen.
Thundercats.
Right here, you get pumped up because everybody knows it's time. That guy sucked, though.
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Hear the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose.
By the way,
Thundercats.
The best animation in the show is in these opening credits.
Yes, you're right.
Like, it never, ever looked this good. Or this epic.
Yes, that's true. Good word, Greg. All right, that's enough. But anyway, you get it. That's an epic introduction. Can you think of a better introduction in like cartoons of the 80s?
Well, that's a whole different bracket.
I know it's a whole bit different bracket. Hey, come on, guys. Have we spoken on this yet?
This tells a story.
Making your way in the world
Oh my
today.
God, Greg.
Everything you've got,
Thank you, Marshall.
it didn't show. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows.
Okay, it's not a great song to jam out to. But
No. I actually, here's the thing. I get Cheers song way more now than when I did as a kid.
Okay.
You know, because you can see yourself at everybody wants to go to the bar where they all go, Greg, hey, have a beer, right? I'm voting Thundercats.
I'll go that route. That's fine. But
Okay. But what? Seems like you don't want to go that route.
I don't want to go that route, but
Why don't you want to go that route?
because it's my opinion, John.
No. What I'm saying is, what? Okay, then tell me your opinion about Cheers.
I think it's got the staying power over Thundercats, and I think it had more of a mass appeal than Thundercats does.
Are you saying there was more adults in the 80s than kids?
That
I'm just kidding.
May or may not be true.
Who knows about that? Yeah, I don't know.
But like Thundercats is going to speak to, like, if you play that now, I mean, you play it now to guys our age, like in mass,
and
right?
we freak out.
And we're like, a lot of us are going to be like, yes, but you play the Cheer song to a cross section of generations, both boomers down to young kids. I think they're probably going to understand the appeal to Cheers more than they understood the appeal to Thundercats.
Okay. What was our criteria? It was 3 things, right?
Yeah. Which is why I'm like, okay, fine.
Right. So what was the 3 things?
It was personal, like staying power, and what was the third one? I don't know. What did I say?
I forgot. Anyway,
yeah.
What I'm saying is I see where you're going. I think maybe you're right. I think Cheers, this is gonna hurt me, but I think you're right. I think Cheers was because I think right now, when that song comes on, like, people still play that song. They just oh God, Cheers goes on. I'm sorry, Thundercats, it didn't work out.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah,
Then
so we got Cheers,
The
Facts of Life. Ursula told me it's Inspector Gadget. It's not the Facts of Life, but she wasn't here for all of it. So
yeah, I'm taking Cheers over the Facts of Life.
Oh yeah, Cheers beat the Facts of Life.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Golden Girls versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I went with Turtles. Because as much as people love the Golden Girls, and they love the characters of the Golden Girls, they don't love the theme song. It's not the theme song that's made that like a lasting show. It's not the theme song that they remember. They remember Blanche being a whore and you know, what's her name?
I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. If Thundercats can't move on, then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has to. Yeah. All right. So we got TMNT versus Cheers. I would think out of the 80s, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles still has staying power where Cheers doesn't. So TMNT, I would say, goes to the final 4.
Yep, that's what we got. So the final 4 matchup in the West is going to be the Addams Family versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're heading over to the East, starting with the 1990s. This one is going to cause an argument, I think. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus DuckTales.
Not as much as you think it would. Actually, I was a huge fan of DuckTales when I was a kid.
Who wasn't?
But I would say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would be DuckTales. I would just say that in general because of who sang it, what it's about.
Yeah.
That no one walks around going bum, 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 bum. Life is like a hurricane, right? But if I sit there and say, you know, on the streets of West Philadelphia, born and raised, almost everybody can finish the rest of that.
And that makes sense. And another thing that I just thought about was like my kids, who we didn't watch a lot of reruns of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they were little, or anything. My
Right.
kids, they know that theme song to the
Right.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes. So I
So-
think Fresh Prince moves on.
Yeah, we can. That's fine. I
Huge
can-
fan of DuckTales, though. Huge fan.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's actually harder than you think it'd be. The
Saved by the
4 and
Bell.
5 seed, Saved by the Bell, and Law and Order. Now, Saved by the Bell talks to me more than Law and Order does, but when I hear that Law and Order song,
People know Law and Order.
yes,
Like
they
that
do.
is. I mean, and even still, as a cultural reference,
You're right.
people will go dun dun. I mean, they'll make a Law and Order joke before they make a waking up in the
Saved by
morning.
the Bell.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's the same situation that we had with Cheers and Thundercats, where Saved by the Bells was like our,
Yeah.
like
I get,
would you call it like this bridge to starting adult where we start watching adult entertainment? I don't mean like porn. I'm talking about like regular TV shows where we went from cartoons, Saved by the Bell. Now we're into the transition of other
Maybe.
adult. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Are we? I gotta ask because I'm sharing my screen. Are you guys seeing the screen? Or are you seeing a circle like a loading bar?
He's
So if
talking
you
to you guys. I see your screen, Greg.
I know, but on my live feed of the show, it looks like it's just a loading bar.
All right, Curtis, Marshall, what do you see?
Help
Do you
me
see
out.
this bracket or no? While they're letting us know, the next one.
Okay.
Oh,
No, it's the bracket. Okay, good. Okay,
Okay, good.
Thanks. Thank
all
you.
right. So, Saved by the Bell, Law and Order.
I went with Law and Order.
I agree with you, actually. Yeah, I would think Law and Order. Yeah. Moving on, number 3 versus number 6.
Ooh, this was
This one's tough. Okay, The Simpsons. That is God. I can't believe that show is still on. The Simpsons, like that's Americana from the 80s till now.
it really is.
Yes.
And they're using the same theme song that they always have with the minor changes for I don't know. I went with Cops.
Really?
I did.
I don't know if I agree with you there.
And honestly, I don't
boys. What
I think I almost flipped a coin on it, but I did the whole like I don't know of anybody that's ever started singing the Simpsons theme song just to like make a joke in context or something, but like people started singing Bad Boys.
Yeah, but that's not that's not our only reason.
I know. And
Yeah.
it's hard to be like staying power for a show that's still on. Law and Order's still on there too, but
Is Cops still on? Yeah.
no, I
Cops
don't
is
think
still
so.
on. No, it's over.
No.
Not even a different version of it or something.
Well, maybe, but I don't think they're using the Bad Boy song anymore. So I don't know. I'm fine going with the Simpsons on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm just like I know what you're saying, and I agree. But Marshall's right. It has to be The Simpsons. It has to go on. All right, this one's easy to me. Number 2, Friends, the Friends song versus the Pokey. I've never heard the Pokemon song.
Oh,
I don't know what the hell that
gotta
is.
be the very best that no one ever was. I mean, it's
that
like
really it?
this. Yeah, it's all about this guy wanting to be the ultimate Pokemon trainer. Gotta catch them all. I mean, it was a big deal. I mean, we were past the generation of kids
Okay.
that, I mean, Pokemon came out when like we were in college. And when the cartoon came on, it was definitely not targeted to us because it wasn't like an action adventure or anything like that. But the theme song was huge. And when I was starting to teach, every kid was singing the song.
No kidding.
It was like their DuckTales. I mean,
Okay.
yes, in elementary, middle school, people were walking around singing the DuckTales song. They were doing that with Pokemon song. But
Okay.
when you're going up against Friends, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Friends is gonna annihilate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's my God, that's still going on. Like there's that moment in that song where it goes that
Yeah, the clap.
usually Ursula and I will like slap each other on the back to that rhythm whenever we hear it. Like we'll run and find each other and go,
Well, at least it's the
So-
back. I thought you were gonna say the butt, but
No, but
you can two-hand that.
I can. Pa, 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 pa. So, all
Okay.
right, staying in the 90s now, we got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus Law and Order. I think it was Curtis that brought it up, and he actually makes a pretty good point about that Law and Order is a tune, Saved by the Bell was a song. So Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a song, but this was a tune, but we're talking about themes.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
what do you got? You're thinking of Law and Order, aren't you?
well, for me, Fresh Prince never went past the first game, but if it's Fresh Prince versus Law and Order, I think I would go with Fresh Prince.
I agree.
That's who I think would take
yeah.
that one.
So Simpsons, this is a tough one now. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty.
Simpsons versus Friends. I gotta go with Friends.
I agree, and
It's
it's so the 90s. Friends.
It is
Yes.
iconic 90s. I mean, just iconic TV show theme song. And
Yes.
again, not trying to disparage the Simpsons, but and even if you get down to it, yeah, the Simpsons is a tune. Like that's
Yeah.
I mean, there's
you're right. There's no singing in there.
but I mean there's
Dun,
there's
dun.
room to play in there, but I think when it comes to iconic, like
I'll
you're
be
gonna
there
get-
for you. I'll be there for you.
it was the biggest sitcom for a long time for good reason. I mean,
Yeah, it was a great sitcom. Yes.
and the Simpsons have the staying power for sure.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go for more iconic theme song is Friends. So Friends.
I agree with you.
Friends,
I agree
Friends
with you.
takes that division. They
I
go-
think Friends takes this whole thing. I think Curtis is right. It took the whole 1990s because I don't think it stands up against. I think it annihilates the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
yes, it most
Yes.
likely does.
Yeah. So Curtis, you should have put money on that one. Yeah. So what do we got? We got the Addams Family.
We got Adam's Family versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're gonna have Friends versus the 2000s winner. So let's head into
Okay.
2000.
Here we go. 2000s and today. There is one missing there that should be replacing a certain one. And so let's talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
The Sopranos is number one versus Kim Possible. I've never heard the Kim Possible theme song.
And I've never heard the Sopranos theme song.
Really?
Yeah, but I know I know there's huge followings for both.
This is actually it, Greg.
I can't hear that.
I think why that's iconic is when you saw that, you knew shit was going to go. When you heard that, you knew shit was going to go down. Now, I was never a Sopranos guy.
Yeah, me neither.
I never
I mean,
really got
that's-
into that. I have no idea what Kim Possible is, though.
It's a cartoon theme song. It's a woman power theme song, just like kind of in the sense of like a Wonder Woman song.
Okay.
But I've heard I have been in, it's gonna sound weird because I don't go there often, but I've been in and seen clips of dance clubs that they sample the Kim Possible theme song and the crowd goes nuts. And I was like,
Kim Possible.
yeah, I mean, people have it as ringers on their cell phone.
I
Still,
think just your friends do. What are you talking about?
no,
I've
I
never
don't.
heard-
I don't know of anybody that does, but I know that it's one of, for a while, it was one of the most downloaded sound effects on some of these cell phones. There you go.
Can't stop me 'cause I'm impossible. There is nothing I can't do when danger calls. Just know that I am on my
All right, we both have a vote. I'm going to leave it up to our all-star people. I'm saying the Sopranos knocks that out of the park.
Okay. I mean, I
I have no real love to either or. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So
we'll move on then. It's
Oh,
Park
okay.
and Recs versus Game of Thrones. For
okay,
me,
this is the one. Parks and Rec, I think, should be replaced by The Office.
yeah, that well, and there was questions there when I did my honorable mention in there. I'm like, why is The Office not
Yeah.
on there?
I think that's one of
again,
the. Yeah.
I don't know if the for the win bracket people quite know what they're doing with that one, that The Office wasn't, because it was a bigger show. I mean, Parks and Recs was good, but The Office had a bigger following.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that versus Game of Thrones, I went Game of Thrones because
Oh yes, I think yes, because again, when you heard that going down, you knew shit was gonna go down too. You were like,
when your theme song plays and you can, like, there's video of, it's Sunday night at 8 o'clock, and it's an apartment building in New York, and like you could see everybody's windows. All of the lights in the apartment are in sync, like they're flashing at the same time, which means everybody's watching
Game of
the
Thrones.
same thing. The entire building was watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
you didn't get that with Park and Rec.
No, of course not. Yeah.
So
I Game of Thrones for sure.
Okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm and The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I've watched episodes of both of those.
Same.
I flipped a coin and went Curb Your Enthusiasm because
I think it is Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's a much more catchier song.
It's a goofy Seinfeld-ish kind of theme song to me.
Yes.
So
well, it's the guy that wrote Seinfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Jeopardy versus SpongeBob. I win SpongeBob.
Really?
Yep.
Why, it doesn't surprise me. I just think Jeopardy, like, again, you're talking about at parties. If you're asking somebody a question, you could literally sit there and go dun 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 dun.
That's the waiting music. That's not the theme song.
Yes, it is. It's just not as bassy as the theme song is.
More instrumental,
and it's much more theatrical. But it's the same. It's the same beat. It's the same thing. Ask anybody that watches Jeopardy. Ask Aaron Rodgers. He knows. That's a good one, Matt. Dexter. That was a good one that should have been up there as well. For 2000 and today.
Well, sometimes teams that should make it, it's just one of those things, they don't make it that year.
Yeah. I'm just giving Matt a little love because I got on him about the Aaron Rodgers thing. So
yeah. I went SpongeBob because, again, you can shout "Who lives in a pineapple under the sea" in a crowd, and you're going to get multi-generation of people.
I am not doing that, so we need to turn to the other people. What do we got, guys? SpongeBob or Jeopardy?
Well, and we're undecided on Sopranos versus Kim Possible. I mean,
no, we're not. Sopranos won that.
Oh, we're at Sopranos. Okay, all right, fine. So then we'll go back up to the top then, and we've got Sopranos versus
Game of Thrones.
Game of
Game of Thrones.
So do I. Yep.
I got GOT.
So,
what do we got? Anybody?
Marshall,
we're getting people.
SpongeBob. I think you should play the theme because they are different. You talking about Jeopardy, Kurt? I mean, I looked it up. The first one in YouTube is 1 hour of like the Jeopardy waiting music, which would be torture. Yeah, I guess it is pretty much the same.
It doesn't. It's just, to me, it's a lot more. I wouldn't dare say catchy. It's one of the worst things you want to have in your head, actually. But
yeah, it does not sound good. I mean,
I'm not a fan of it. I'm just thinking overall popularity, it's better than,
yeah, I guess that's a little bit more instrumental.
Yeah.
But I'm still thinking SpongeBob. I still think SpongeBob would.
All right. Marshall says SpongeBob. Curtis, what do you got? Because right now it's 2-1. And since you've been playing the whole time, what do you got? Oh, did he already reply? I'm slow on this.
No, he didn't.
I got Matt for Jeopardy and Curtis is Jeopardy. So Jeopardy wins 3-2.
All right.
So Jeopardy versus Curb Your Enthusiasm. Do we all know Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No, I don't think everybody does, which says something to me. That says
I think you're right.
Win.
I think you're right, but I think once you hear it, you'll go, "Oh yeah."
No, because I can tell you, I never watched the show.
This isn't it. That's not true because it's on other shows.
I got it.
This isn't it, folks.
I got it.
That's it.
Okay.
A lot of people use that now in their talk shows on radio. That's
But the fact that I didn't know that it was that show, I think says something to me that it's not gonna win.
yes, but anybody else? Did anybody else not know that? Anybody out there? Curtis, Matt, anyone? Let us know while we move on. We said Game of Thrones, so we're already in the winner here of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And
I think
Jeopardy.
Game of Thrones takes the division.
I actually do too, but we still got to play the games, man. We got at least one, just one. Give us one. No clue. Well, I just played you the song.
Yeah, and that's where I think he's saying.
Oh, I knew that one, Matt. Matt sounds like an educated fella. I'm just kidding.
Matt is. All right.
No, all right. So let's just go with flip a coin, Greg. You got one? Just flip a freaking coin.
Heads.
Heads, Jeopardy. Tails, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's still heads.
Okay.
Okay.
So Jeopardy versus
wins.
Game of Thrones. Yep. And I think Game of Thrones pulls it off.
I think Game of Thrones pulls it off.
Absolutely.
No matter what you do.
All right. So we have the Addams Family in the final four versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm going.
I got Addams.
Yeah, so do I.
All right, that's two. What do we got here? What do we got here, John?
So now it's Game of Thrones versus Friends. And I'm gonna go with Friends.
Ooh, Greg.
Everybody's seen Friends. Not everybody's seen Game. Not
That's
everybody's seen Game of Thrones. It doesn't have that mass appeal that Friends did.
That's true. Okay. So I think we're all in agreement with Addams Family beating out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So Addams Family's in the finals. And does anybody have a problem with Friends? Now think if this isn't if you personally like it or not. This is just what this song is.
Again, by our kind of criteria, it's again in Game of Thrones, people might get excited for the epicness of it, but they're not singing that in the shower.
No, I agree. I'm saying Friends is already in the finals.
Yeah, so then the finals is Addams Family versus Friends.
That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I thought you were keeping up with me. Okay. All right. So
Addams Family versus Friends. I'm going with Friends. I think Friends takes it. Are you frozen?
I am. And
like what?
Because look, Addams Family made it this far by being iconic, right? So it stayed from the 60s all the way till now. People still know it.
Sure.
And Friends has only been on for the 90s, but your daughter, she watched all of it on Netflix, right?
It certainly did multiple times. So
it's we can't punish Friends for being in the 90s.
No. And
because it could have as long longevity as
and now we get down to like what's a better theme song.
You're right. You're right.
And where what's going to make you want to pull you into a show. Where the Addams Family, I mean, it's got some words to it. But it appeals to a certain like you got to be into the weird shit a little bit. Where they're creepy and they're kooky, altogether spooky. I mean, you gotta be into a show like that. Where Friends had more of this mass appeal with that theme song.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right.
You don't need to play them. Everybody knows those two songs.
I'm going to do it. That was on your head, just FYI. But anyway, it's Friends. Friends got it. They did. And sometimes you have to re-see it and relive it and re-feel it. Yes.
I'm laughing at it.
What?
Could it be any more obvious? I mean,
There you go. Nice job, Marshall.
Because yes, I definitely read that in Chandler's voice. That's
yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's Friends. So I think Friends wins this thing. If you guys like this, I have another one on the board for next week that should be fun. It is breakfast foods. All-time breakfast foods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we sure I've eaten all of them?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're close to the top of the hour. Are we gonna keep going here?
That was it. No, we're good. We're good. Actually, I just have one question. Maybe you guys can all help me. What is the difference between a boneless boneless chicken wing, and a chicken nugget.
Yep.
What's the
None.
difference? We'll end it. We'll
Oh,
end it
yeah.
with that debate. Is there a
that?
difference?
I can put a poll up on
Yeah, put a poll up. Put a
But
poll. No, we're not even putting a poll up.
I can put a poll up like on our Facebook page. We'll do it there
for
throughout.
boneless versus nuggets.
It'll be up throughout the week. Is a boneless chicken wing just a chicken nugget?
Actually, we know what you should do. Put up what's the theme or the championship match and let our audience decide.
I can do multiple.
Oh my God, do multiple.
I have the magic power that can do that.
Oh, I thought only women had the magic power of multiple.
No, they have the touch.
You got the touch.
Yeah.
Hey, what was your the ones that should have been in them? Like
my honorable mentions.
Yes.
People that should have made the tournament that just didn't. The Twilight Zone.
Oh my God, Greg. Yeah, that's perfect.
Scooby Doo should have been.
You're right. Scooby Doo.
This one I wrote it down because it hit me, but I think it's just a my generation thing. The Gummy Bears cartoon.
Dude, my daughter and I still sing that song.
Yeah, I mean it's a great theme song.
What about
The Office?
What about
The
Office?
Just let me read through because
no.
Rawhide.
All right.
That may have been Bonanza, but that
was Bonanza.
That should have been on there. Mission Impossible. Like,
oh yeah,
that was that theme is technically a TV show theme.
What was Dallas?
I don't know. I saw somewhere that some poll said Dallas, and I'm like,
first thing I thought of in the 80s was what about MASH? And I was thinking, well, MASH is iconic, but it's not catchy.
No, there's
like
no
once you hear it, you go, oh, that's
the
Knight
Muppet
Rider.
Show, the Muppet Show.
Oh, the Muppet Show.
It's time to start the music. It's time to light the lights. I mean, that's just
the Muppet Show tonight. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Yes.
The Walking Dead.
That's a good one.
Big Bang Theory, which I have a little bit of an issue with that because that's not a TV theme song. That was a real song that they took and applied to a TV show.
Yes.
Phineas and Ferb. It's a great theme song. The Monkees. Hey, we're the Monkees. People.
I used to love that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're the Monkees.
And again, was that? I don't know because I mean the Monkees were a real band, but I think they made the band for the show, and then they became a real band later.
Oh, really?
I think so. I don't think they were.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that.
Because they're a corporate band. But so I don't know if they just wrote.
Good one, Curtis. Sesame Street.
Yeah, actually. And for that fact, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers should have been.
Yes.
Come on. The X-Files is classic. Star Trek is classic. Sanford and Son was not on this list.
Yeah,
that's great. And then finally, the Brady Bunch. I mean, those were the ones that I had that I was surprised were not on the list.
Yeah, those are some very good ones. Yes, you're right. Maybe they just didn't have it. That should have knocked out a couple of them, like the Pink Panther.
See, that's one where I'm like, what? Why was that on there? And
I mean, it is a catch.
Sure, but again, I mean, it was.
I understand.
I don't know.
I understand. Yeah, I get it. No, but hey, man, they just didn't play well this year. So
check out our Facebook page.
Yes.
Following this week, there's going to be some polls up there. I'm just going to try to do some more polls on there, get some interaction going throughout the week so that we can help build that audience there. And as you see it, let's get some more opinions. Share it out on your own social media. See if we can get some other people engaged. That would be fun. Start the conversation. And while you're doing all that, going through your week, just remember to don't be a douche.
There you go. So for the Greg, this is Johnny saying thank you very much for listening. Thank you to our special guests on the comment line that were helping us through this little
appreciate you guys.
Yes. Have a great week. Take care. Podcast out. See you later, guys.